Anytime Marathon.
Anytime Marathon.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Ciao. Welcome. Welcome to InterFerry 49 in the land of lemons and limoncello. We're pleased to be here this morning with everybody. Just come on in and take your seats, please. We have some people still registering, but we'll keep carrying on. It's a pleasure to be here. The first thing that's the most important thing is safety. In the event of an emergency, we just go out and go right, and the main entrance for the conference center is right over here past the exhibition area, so you can just go out and go down towards the street. Although, based on the way the mopeds run around here, we might be safer staying in the building. Most important thing I'll probably tell you for the whole conference, the InterFerry network and password, so there it is right there. I've had no problem getting on the site, so hopefully you won't either. If you do, we have a team of people running around here with InterFerry paraphernalia on, so they'd be pleased to help you out, so I'm sure that'll go fine. Just, I think, a few common courtesy things I think that we're all aware of. Cell phones, please put them in vibrate or off position so we're not interrupted during the sessions. The brakes, we have to enter on this side, but we can exit on both sides. Please visit the exhibitors over here. All the refreshment and food will be over in this area over here. And then, of course, there's the conference app, which we always hear glowing things about in terms of what the conference app does for us. So you need, I assume, is everybody logged in so far? How many people have logged in? Well, that's good. I think we're in the 90% range, so that's good. So log in off of the Apple Store or Google or wherever it is. It's pretty simple. It's straightforward. But make sure your app is refreshed all the time because there's always new information coming. There should be a red button in the top left corner. If your app needs to be refreshed, hit that and you'll get the most current information. Each session is on there, and there's a Q&A function, which I think you'll find useful and helpful. So when the session begins, the Q&A portion of that session is opened, and when it is, you can ask your questions, and we have some guys down here that are monitoring the questions, and we'll get them up on the big screen at the end of the session for us. Obviously, we need questions that are in good taste and no comments about my hairline, please. The questions are anonymous, so nobody will know who submitted the question. And the questions will actually come up on the main screen so everybody can see them. We're pleased to partner with Press Reader again once this year. So while we have our program on the app, we also have a program that you can load through Press Reader. Just type in InterFerry, and you'll see the InterFerry 25 full program there. So you can look at that afterwards, during the conference or whenever. We stopped printing a written program a few years ago in the interest of the environment, but everything is there in the app. It looks the exact same as it would if it was a printed program. You'll notice something different a little bit this year is we're going to be filming the event. Our partner Alice, who's associated obviously with the Grimaldi Group, they've graciously offered to bring in their video production team, so they'll be wandering around and interviewing people. If you don't feel comfortable, you certainly don't have to be interviewed, but we'd like to hear from you what you think about InterFerry. Hopefully it's good things. And also wish InterFerry the best for our next conference, which is going to be our 50th conference in Bangkok, Thailand. And please do it in your native tongue. I think that would be kind of cool. We have 40 countries represented here, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that can speak a lot of different languages. Another new feature this year is photo sharing. So you can actually click on the PDF, or sorry, what's it called, John? QR code, sorry. And it's also in the back. The QR code's also on the back of your tag there. So you click on that, and you can upload your photos to the website, and everybody can view them. I understand there's already quite a few photos on there already. As usual, we really need to thank our sponsors. We couldn't do this without them, so thank you for that. We obviously Grimaldi, the President Group sponsor, thank you for them for an outstanding event here. And then our platinum sponsors, Caris and DNV. I can't go through the full list, but I think you can understand the support we're getting and how fortunate we are. And as I said earlier, please visit the exhibitors. There's a big part of what we do. I always say we're stronger together. We're all part of the same family. It's a symbiotic relationship. And one of the things that people like to do when they come to InterFerry is to be able to talk to the decision makers. And we always ensure that that does happen. And over the years, our operators have been great interfacing with the suppliers. So please take the opportunity to do that as well. And then thank you to our media partners. We've had some phenomenal success this year in terms of getting the word out about InterFerry and all the good work we're doing, especially around ferry safe and regulatory affairs and some other things like battery safety. So we couldn't do that without a number of media partners. So thank you to them as well. The program itself, I'm very proud of our program this year. The theme obviously is connections. Connecting with customers and communities, employees, IT, the grid. So there's a lot to encompass there, and I think we've been able to accomplish all of that. We've got two keynote speakers to start with, Bud Dar from CLIA, the International Cruise Association, and then Isabel Reichbus from European Seaport Organization. So we look forward to hearing both of our keynotes. And then we have a really unique session where we have connecting with communities. We've actually brought together companies from 4 different parts of the world to talk about connecting with communities and the challenges around that and some of the commonality. I think we all know that at the end, at the final core, pretty much customers always demand the same things as do the communities. But let's hear from Attica, from Panos Stakakos, from Greece, from Canada. We'll hear from people from opposite ends of our vast country, 4 time zones away. Greta Bedard from STQ, Société de Travailleurs de Quebec, will talk about her unique challenges providing service on the St. Lawrence River. Nicolas Jimenez from British Columbia on the other coast, the west coast, will talk about some of his challenges providing service to the people of British Columbia. And then we have Dami Emmanuel coming in from Lagos, Laswa, to talk about what they're doing around the lagoon. So very interesting, 4 different connecting with community sessions. And then we have an employee session in terms of bringing our employees in, training them, retaining them, keeping them. And then IT, another session around things we hear about all the time, AI, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity. So that's kind of the world we live in today. And I think some of the people that are here or actually aren't here or got here late, it's probably because of some of the things I just mentioned around IT and the challenges with those. And of course, we have to talk about connecting to the grid. It's obvious that it's all about electrification now and getting onshore power development. So we'll hear from connections in terms of connecting to the grid. And then our ever popular Director of Regulatory Affairs, Johan Roos, will provide a regulatory update. And it'll be no big surprise that with the next MEP session happening in 2 weeks, his presentation is probably going to almost exclusively talk about greenhouse gas regulations. And for us, he'll talk about it in a lot of detail, but we had a meeting yesterday with our Operators Policy Committee, and our number one issue, without a doubt, right now, without a doubt, just to make sure everybody understands, is the double taxation issue. Having to pay taxes on emissions in the EU and potentially having to pay taxes in the IMO for the same emissions. So that's a challenge. And then we have 3 ferry leaders panels this year with 4 participants on each panel. They've been hugely popular in the past, so we've tried to work as much as we can to have a representation of people who operate smaller ferries, companies who operate medium-sized ferries, and companies that operate large ferries. So I think you'll see we have everything there that we need. And then you'll hear an InterFerry, we'll have the InterFerry AGM, which will be a short meeting to elect new directors and officers for the upcoming year, and I'll provide a short InterFerry update. And finally, and most importantly, you'll hear about our Ferry Safe program, what we're doing to improve safety in the developing world. And we spent, the InterFerry team and our volunteers have spent a considerable amount of time in the last year traveling around the globe, trying to work with our partners improving safety in the developed world. So we'll hear more about that. So a very full agenda, but one I think that we should be very proud of, and I hope that it entertains and educates everyone. And of course, our charity of choice, Mercy Ships. So you'll hear from Mercy Ships on the main stage today, along with Götz Becker, our vice chair and incoming chairman, about connecting as it relates to a charity. And I'd like to have a special thank you to our directors that are here, the 19 people who make up our board that actually represent the regions around the world and is a cross-section of our membership. So, and they do so on a voluntary basis. They don't get paid for it, and they pay for their own travel. So it's a huge commitment. We have 3 meetings per year, so thanks to our directors that are here today. And then final thank yous, Emmanuel Grimaldi is finishing up his term, 3rd term with our board. You'll hear about in the nominations process, Guido Grimaldi is going to step in and be our new, he's already the president of InterFerry, but next year he'll become a director in his first 4-year term. So thank you, Mr. Grimaldi, for everything you've done and been instrumental in bringing this conference to Sorrento. Chet Pastrana, who's opened up new worlds for us in Asia Pacific, what he's done with his company and along with his wife Marianne over the last 14 years or so has been astonishing. You'll actually hear from Chet and Marianne as part of the Customers Connections, Community Connections. I may have missed that, but they are going to be presenting what they're doing to build connections with customers in the Philippines. And then last but not least, our distinguished chairman, Tim Mooney. He's just finishing up his last and final year as both an InterFerry director and chairman of our organization. So you'll hear more from Tim during the meeting, and we'll recognize him at the end of the meeting. But Tim has done a phenomenal job for InterFerry. And when I talk about traveling around the world, trying to improve safety in the developed world, Tim has been there every step of the way with us and paid his own way with Jane to do that. So Tim, your leadership and what you've taken InterFerry to for the last 3 years is very much appreciated, so thank you for that. And then, future conferences. I think the first 2 you know about. Bangkok next year, our 50th anniversary. The year after that, we're in the Åland Islands, hosted by Viking Line. And then, which should be news to everyone, although we learned if you want to keep something confidential, you just say don't tell anybody, and then it gets out there and everybody knows about it. But we've selected Quebec City in 2028 is our conference location. So congratulations to Société de Traverse de Quebec. We're looking forward to going to my home country, but a location that is many, many miles away. And I think you probably all realize it, but maybe you don't. Canada is a bilingual country, so predominantly French-speaking in Quebec, so a lot of history. I always say Quebec City is a mixture of Europe and North America. So something completely unique, which I think you'll really enjoy. And then now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our president of InterFerry, president of Alice, and commercial shipping director of short sea shipping for Grimaldi, Mr. Guido Grimaldi, to stage to say a few words. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mike. I welcome all of you. Welcome also President Commissioner Andrea Annunziata from the port of Naples, just arrived. So dear delegates, dear friends, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to the 49th Annual InterFerry Conference. On behalf of the Grimaldi Group, we are very proud to host this year in Sorrento. We are in a place that has always been related to the sea, and above all, in a place very deeply connected to our group's history. Therefore, as a multinational company based in Naples, we welcome you all in this beautiful region. The theme of this year's conference, as Mike said, is connections that celebrate the relationship that strengthen, consolidate, and fortify our industry between companies, between communities, between culture, innovation, tradition, and between challenges that ferry industry is facing and the solution that we can work on together. At Grimaldi, these values have been shaping our global operation and are guiding our effort toward a safer and more efficient and carbon-free industry. Let me now give you a brief overview about Grimaldi Group's history. The Grimaldi Group began in Naples after the Second World War and is linked to the legendary Achille Lauro. The founder is my grandfather Guido Grimaldi and his brothers. After years spent with their uncle Achille, in 1947 the five brothers set up a new company in shipping lines. That starting with carrying passengers between Mediterranean Sea and South American routes. However, the turning point came in 1969, when the Grimaldi Group brothers inaugurated a regular service between Italy and the United Kingdoms, specifically dedicated to the transport of new vehicles, and this was the starting point. Our fleet has grown today from 36 ships over 150, making Grimaldi Italy largest shipping company, and the brand has become a landmark for the biggest vehicle manufacturer worldwide. At the same time, the Grimaldi Group has gradually evolved to become an integrated logistic operator. Over 20 ports, terminals owned, managed in various land transport communities. The group has also been a pioneer in the development of motorways of the sea, in the Mediterranean Sea, the Baltic Sea, and promoting the EU policy of shifting freight from road to sea, which is more environmentally friendly. Today, our network of motorways of the sea counts about 150 routes. If we focus on ferry sector, the Grimaldi Group currently operates 29 cruise ferries and RoPax vessels under the Grimaldi, Minoan, Finland's Transmed, linking Italy, Greece, Tunisia, Spain, Mediterranean, Finland, Sweden, Germany, Poland, and all the Baltic region. According to a recent study by Shipax, the Grimaldi Group ranks first globally in terms of conventional RoPax gross tonnage and line meters capacity, and second in terms of RoPax fleet passenger capacity as well bed capacity. In the last few years, we have invested over $4 billion. In 22-23, over $1.6 billion has been invested in construction of 17 innovative car carriers. In April 2025, the Group's ordered 9 state-of-the-art RoPax vessels that worth $1.5 billion. These new RoPax ships will be delivered between 2028 and 2030. We'll have engines that can also run methanol in order to achieve the net zero emission goal, as well can ensure power connection. 3 new buildings will be delivered to our sister company, Finland. Those vessels will be deployed between Germany and Finland, with a length of 240 meters, 1,100 passenger capacity, by 5,100 line meters of rolling cargo plus 90 cars. Besides the continued renewal of tonnage during the past few years, Finland has developed new routes, like Roeselare to Zeebrugge, or a daily connection between Malmö and Zmienice. The consolidation of our presence in the ferry passenger business includes the Mediterranean as well. 6 of our recently ordered RoPax ships vessels belongs to the next generation Med class. The first 2 vessels will be delivered to our Greek sister company Minoan and will be employed between Piraeus, Milos, and Heraklion. Meanwhile, 4 of this class next generation Med will be operated between Italy to various destinations. All 6 vessels have a capacity of 2,500 passengers by 300 cabins and over 3,300 line meters, over 300 cars. In the Spanish market, Transmed continues to consolidate its position between continental Spain and Balearic Islands. Since 2021, when the company was founded, our group has invested a lot in the Spanish market in terms of new vessels, terminals that can provide cold ironing and shoreside supply of electricity. Meanwhile, Grimaldi has grown a lot also in the freight sector, has also enjoyed significant expansion and upgrade in terms of both service network and tonnage deployed. In the last few years, The group has taken delivery of about 29 new vessels, including 14 hybrid Eco Row-class ships. 11 of these Eco vessels are employed between Mediterranean and Baltic and North Sea. They are the biggest and most eco-friendly Row-packs in the world right now, each able to transport over 520 semi-trailers that can emit half in terms of CO2 per cargo unit compared to the previous generation vessels. Tangible proof of this success was the deployment of the last 3 years and the last 3 Eco vessels in the Turkish market, with a regular service between Trieste, Patras and Ambarli, and then extended to Gemlik on the Asian side of Marmara Sea in the heart of industrial iron Turkey. Recently, we have deployed also a 4th vessel, and on this line in order to fulfill customer needs and Turkish market needs. Thanks to the very good service provided by our vessel and terminal, we have secured only 1 year the 55% in terms of market share. In addition of this Eco vessel, 17 pure car carriers with a capacity of over 9,000 cars have been delivered. 4 of these ships are already fully operated on our maritime connections for the Asian market, while other 13 are scheduled to be delivered within 2027. This innovative car carrier can be converted for use of ammonia in order, of course, to reach the decarbonization. In addition, they are equipped with mega lithium batteries, solar panel, shore connection capability. These new ships are able to cut fuel consumption by 50% if compared with the previous generation. Our group is also focused, of course, on port and terminals. And today we own about more than 25 ports, terminals in 13 countries for a total surface of over 6 million square meters. One of our latest and most ambitious achievements in the port sector has been the acquisition, privatization of Port of Igoumenitsa in the west part of Greece, and the Heraklion as well. In both Greek ports, important investments are in progress in order to upgrade the passengers and freight service and to reduce environmental footprint. More specifically in Igoumenitsa, where our group is the port main customers, we have completed the installation of photovoltaic systems in order to reduce 60,000 tons of CO2, that contributing for a total saving of a group of about 2 million tons of CO2 per year. Additionally, LED relamping has been implemented, resulting in an energy saving of about 50% in a year. Moving to Heraklion, a master plan is in a final stage with multi-million euro investment planned in order to reach a greener port with installation of solar panel and windmills as well. Other recent development by our group includes the acquisition of Antwerp, Livorno, and Ravenna. All these activities clearly show how group's strong commitment to environmental protections and the IMO's zero net emission target by 2050. The Grimaldi Group achievement over the last years has been made possible by the forward-looking vision of the shareholders, by and especially by the dedication and hard work of about 21,000 employees, considered part of our big family, both at sea and land. In this respect, the protection and promotion of values of human resource is of paramount importance for our company. Another of our top priorities is the distribution of values in the place we operate. This is the main goal of Fondazione Grimaldi, an ente philanthropic of charity, non-profitable organization founded by my father Emanuele. This philanthropic organization, which is currently the leading private family foundation in Italy, in terms of fund disbursed, is mainly financed by direct and indirect contribution by the Grimaldi family. Since 2007, Fondazione Grimaldi has financed over 540 projects by an investment of 35 million. Now allow me to go back to today's event. InterFerry 2025 aims to be more than a conference. It to be an important celebration of expertise, innovations, culture, and Mediterranean hospitality. I invite you all to explore the surrounding area of this splendid region that has shaped the Grimaldi Group's identity and continue to inspire our journey towards an excellent service and a sustainable mobility. Thank you for joining here in Sorrento, this wonderful place of paradise. Your presence, your perspective are essential as we work together to strengthen our industry and build human relationship. Let's make InterFerry 2025 a turning point where new ideas are born, partnerships grow, and future of ferry transport takes shape. Thanks. I want to thank really deeply Mike for the fantastic job he did, and Sherry, of course, because it's not easy to make a big event like this one. And especially I want to thank Tim, that has been a fantastic chairman and president the last years, and I've been the privilege the last years to know you very well. So really congratulate from my heart, because it's outrageous the job you did. I invite now Andrea Annunziati, President of the Port Authorities of Naples and Sorrento and Salerno and so on. Please, Andrea.
Caro Presidente Guido Grimaldi, egregi delegati ed ospiti, vorrei innanzitutto ringraziare il CEO di InterFerry Mike Corrigan per l'invito rivoltomi a partecipare ai lavori della 49esima conferenza dell'Associazione InterFerry. È un grande onore per me essere qui tra voi e desidero complimentarmi con il vertice di InterFerry per aver scelto Sorrento come location per questa conferenza internazionale. Un evento che dà grande lustro e prestigio alla nostra regione. Con la sua lunga tradizione marinara, Sorrento non poteva che essere il posto giusto per ospitare questa conferenza che raccoglie il gotha del mondo dei traghetti.
Dear President Guido Grimaldi, distinguished delegates and guests, first of all, I would like to thank InterFerry's CEO Mike Corrigan for inviting me to participate at the 49th InterFerry Conference. It is a great honor for me to be here with you, and I would like to congratulate InterFerry's leadership for having chosen Sorrento as the location for this international conference, an event that brings great prestige and recognition to our region. With this long seafaring tradition, Sorrento is the perfect place to host this conference, which brings together the elite of the ferry industry.
Dopo queste mie poche parole introduttive, vorrei illustrarvi brevemente le attività dei tre porti che l'Autorità di Sistema Portuale del Mar Tirreno Centrale gestisce, quelli di Napoli, Salerno e Castellammare di Stabia.
After these few introductory words, I would like to briefly illustrate the activities of the three ports managed by the Central Tyrrhenian Port Authority, which are Naples, Salerno and Castellammare di Stabia.
Grazie alla sua posizione strategica, il porto di Napoli è il principale scalo del sud Italia ed uno dei più importanti e trafficati del Mediterraneo, fungendo da punto di accesso per navi da carico di vario tipo, traghetti e navi da crociera. Occupa un'area di circa 1,5 milioni di metri quadrati e la lunghezza delle sue banchine è di circa 11 chilometri.
Thanks to its strategic position, the Port of Naples is the main port in southern Italy and one of the most important and busiest in the Mediterranean, serving as a gateway for various types of cargo ships, ferries and cruise ships. It covers an area of approximately 1.5 million square meters, and its quays are about 11 kilometers long.
Salerno ha una forte vocazione nel settore dei container e del ro-ro, mentre Castellammare di Stabia incentra le sue attività principalmente nel settore della nautica da diporto e in quello della cantieristica, grazie alla storica presenza dello stabilimento Fincantieri.
Salerno has a strong focus on the container and ro-ro sectors, while Castellammare di Stabia concentrates its activities mainly in the pleasuring, boating and shipbuilding sectors, thanks to the historic presence of the Fincantieri shipyard.
Nel 2024 tutti e tre gli scali hanno movimentato complessivamente circa 32 milioni di tonnellate di merci, prevalentemente nel segmento delle rinfuse solide e liquide, i container ed il ro-ro. In particolare il trasporto di merci via navi, ro-ro e ro-pax ha rappresentato oltre un terzo dell'intero volume movimentato dei tre porti, ponendo il sistema al terzo posto a livello nazionale a conferma del ruolo vitale che esso svolge da anni nello sviluppo delle autostrade del mare e della continuità territoriale da e verso la Sicilia e la Sardegna.
In 2024, the three ports handled a total of approximately 32 million tons of cargo, mainly in the solid and liquid bulk, container and ro-ro segments. In particular, the transport of goods via ro-ro and ro-pax ships accounted to over a third of the total volume handled by the three ports, placing them in the third place nationally, confirming the vital role the ports are playing for years in the development of the motorways of the sea and the territorial continuity to the islands of Sicily and Sardinia.
A questi numeri si aggiungono quasi 10 milioni di passeggeri, facendo di questa zona del mondo una delle più trafficate via mare. Il trasporto passeggeri dei nostri porti riguarda prevalentemente quello locale per le isole minori, Capri, Ischia e Procida, ma anche quello per la Sicilia, la Sardegna ed altre destinazioni internazionali, con un totale di 7 milioni e 63 di passeggeri movimentati nel 2024.
Added to these figures are almost 10 million passengers, making this area one of the busiest in the world in passenger sea transport. Passenger transport in our ports mainly concerns local traffic to the smaller islands like Capri, Ischia and Procida, but also to Sicily, Sardinia and other international destinations, with a total of 7.63 million passengers handled in 2024.
Per quanto riguarda il settore crocieristico, l'anno passato sono stati movimentati da e per Napoli ben 1.740.000 passeggeri, facendo del capoluogo campano il secondo scalo a livello nazionale e quinto nell'intero Mediterraneo.
As for the cruise sector, last year 1.74 million passengers were transported to and from Naples, making the capital of Campania the second largest port in Italy and the fifth in the entire Mediterranean.
Le previsioni per il 2025 sono ancora più promettenti per quanto riguarda il traffico passeggeri e non solo, grazie soprattutto al boom turistico senza precedenti che la città di Napoli e dintorni stanno vivendo da qualche anno.
The forecasts for 2025 are even more promising in terms of passenger traffic and not only, thanks above all to the unprecedented tourism boom that the city of Naples and its surroundings have been experiencing for some years now.
Questo sviluppo dei traffici non sarebbe stato però possibile senza importanti investimenti effettuati sotto la mia presidenza per un importo che supera il miliardo di euro, attraverso finanziamenti sia nazionali che europei.
However, this growth in traffic would not have been possible without significant investments made under my presidency, amounting to over 1 billion euros through both national and European funding.
Le opere infrastrutturali negli scali di Napoli e Salerno, completate in fase di realizzazione e di progettazione, mirano a potenziare la logistica marittima della Campania nel settore delle merci a supporto del tessuto industriale della nostra regione.
The infrastructure works at the ports of Naples and Salerno, which have been completed, are under construction or in the design phase, aim to strengthen Campania's maritime logistics in the freight sector, supporting the industrial fabric of the region.
Per il settore passeggeri abbiamo puntato alla riqualificazione del waterfront di Napoli, in particolare nell'area del Molo Beverello, dove una nuova stazione marittima per passeggeri con destinazione alle isole minori è operativo da qualche anno, L'opera che alcuni di voi visiterà durante il tour tecnico di mercoledì prossimo, mercoledì mattina, include biglietterie, punti di ristoro, servizi di accoglienza per i passeggeri, una passeggiata panoramica ed una parte museale con reperti archeologici dell'epoca borbonica.
For the passenger sector, we have focused on the redevelopment of the Naples waterfront, particularly in the Molo Beverello area, where a new maritime station for passengers traveling to the smaller islands has been operational for a year now. The work that some of you will visit during the technical tour on Wednesday morning includes ticket offices, refreshment points, passenger reception services, a panoramic walkway, and a museum section with archaeological finds from the Bourbon era.
Tra gli investimenti particolare enfasi è stata data alla transizione energetica, con lo scopo di rendere i porti sotto la nostra gestione sempre più carbon free. A questo riguardo un importante investimento è previsto per l'elettrificazione delle banchine, finanziato dal PNRR. Questo intervento mira a ridurre drasticamente le emissioni di gas a effetto serra, l'inquinamento e il rumore, migliorando la qualità dell'aria e la vivibilità nelle aree portuali.
Among the investments, particular emphasis has been placed on energy transition, with the aim of making the ports under our management increasingly carbon-free. In this regard, a major investment is planned for cold ironing, financed by the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. This project aims to drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions, pollution and noise, improving air quality and livability in port areas.
Tutti questi interventi avranno anche come effetto un miglioramento decisivo della competitività degli scali gestiti dall'autorità di sistema del Mar Tirreno centrale.
All these measures will also have the effect of significantly improving the competitiveness of the ports managed by the Central Tyrrhenian Port Network Authority.
A questo punto permettetemi di ringraziare di cuore chi ci ha premiato con la sua fiducia in tutti questi anni, in particolare gli armatori qui presenti ed in particolare Guido Grimaldi. Il vostro sostegno attraverso il lancio di nuovi collegamenti e lo sviluppo di nuovi traffici, sia di merci che di passeggeri, sono stati fondamentali e confidiamo in una collaborazione ancora più stretta negli anni a venire.
At this point, allow me to sincerely thank those who have placed their trust in us over the years, in particular the shipowners present here today, and especially Guido Grimaldi. Your support through the launch of new maritime links and the development of new freight and passenger traffic has been fundamental, and we look forward to even closer collaboration in the years to come.
Come padre e come cittadino del mondo, voglio ringraziarvi. Voglio ringraziare voi tutti per essere stati i veri pionieri della transizione ecologica, avendo tolto dalla strada milioni di mezzi su gomma fino ad oggi.
As a father and as a citizen of the world, I would like to thank you all for being the pioneers in the energy transition, having removed millions of trucks from the roads.
Chiudo augurando di cuore la piena riuscita della 49esima conferenza InterFerry. Buon lavoro e buona permanenza a tutti a Sorrento. Grazie.
I would like to conclude by wishing the 49th InterFerry Conference every success. I wish you all a productive meeting and a pleasant stay in Sorrento.
Thank you.
Bridging the Islands, Building Tomorrow, the transformative role of domestic ferry service in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In 2010, I stood before you in New York where we announced to this distinguished group our company, Archipelago Philippine Ferries Corporation, will embark on an ambitious goal to build 10 brand new internationally classed mid-speed roll-on roll-off catamaran vessels to serve the Filipino people. To some, it was unheard of, considering we hold the worst maritime accident in the world, and most ferries in the Philippines are second-hand and are not internationally classed. I'm pleased to report to this group that we now have 20 vessels connecting the Eastern, Central, and Western Nautical Highway. We intend to bring our fleet to 30 ships by 2033 and connect more islands and service 10 million passengers nationwide and carry 2 million vehicles a year. The Philippines, an archipelago of over 7,600 islands, is a nation defined by the water that it connects it, as much as the land that divides it. Among the vessels bridging these seas, domestic ferry service play an indispensable role. More than just modes of transport, there are engines of regional growth, catalyst for domestic tourism, lifeline for inter-island connectivity, vital arteries of commerce and culture. Today, let us chart the profound impacts of these ferries that have in local communities. Ferries are promoting regional and economic activity. In 2003, the government launched the Strong Republic Nautical Highway, an integrated roll-on, roll-off system connecting Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. These routes help reduce transport costs by 10 to 60% while opening new markets for agri-fisheries communities, stimulating regional trade and development. Smaller islands such as Bohol, Camiguin, Marinduque, Masbate have seen growing economic activity thanks to these direct links. Rojas Dangay Port in Mindoro was virtually detached from the Visayas region prior to its completion in 2003. We responded to the call of the government to open this route where cargo and passenger traffic was non-existent except for trips using small wooden hull boats. The cargo direction and passenger movement was northbound towards the National Capital Region. With the introduction of roll-on, roll-off shipping service we started, the sleepy town of Rojas was suddenly awakened and developed into a gateway. The number of vehicular traffic also increased from 9,269 to 46,218 for a period of 2003 to 2006. As a result, Ro-Ro vessel increased from 1 to 12 ships. 171 business establishments opened, confirming the impact of infrastructure development, no matter how small, since it served as a catalyst to economic growth and area development. Domestic tourism grew exponentially and contributed to the revenue of the municipality and the province. Moreover, modern passenger ferries now provide seamless access for farmers, fisher folks, and small entrepreneurs. By enabling faster, more affordable routes, local produce can reach urban markets more competitively, empowering grassroots economic growth. The national port infrastructure also plays a key role. For instance, the revamped Batangas passenger terminal, inaugurated in April of 2024, now accommodates up to 8,000 passengers daily, dramatically improving the links of Luzon to Mimaropa, Visayas, and Mindoro. Government and private ports likewise manage millions of passengers each year to foster vibrant business and trade activities. Ferries expanding domestic tourism. Ferries have revolutionized the Filipinos' travel within the country. Fastcraft and Fastcat elevated connectivity among the island of Cebu, Bohol, and Leyte, opening doors to tourism and inter-island discovery. These services make weekend getaways possible and affordable, allowing travelers to hop between sun, culture, and coastal experience with ease. On a national scale, tourism is soaring. In 2024, the travel and tourism sector contributed over 5.4 trillion pesos to the economy, accounting for more than 1/5 of our gross domestic product and supporting over 9.5 million jobs. Much of this surge is fueled by improved mobility and inter-island access. Moreover, Fastcat and other ferry operators now offer modern, comfortable vessels, nurturing both leisure and business tourism. Their onboard amenities and integrated packages enrich visitors' experience. Ferries are enhancing passenger traffic and community access. Ferries aren't just for tourists. They are crucial for daily life. They connect communities, facilitate access to education, healthcare, and preserve familiar bonds across the islands. For the island of Cebu and Bohol, ferries provide daily commuter service and connectivity for students, workers for both factories, hotels, hospitals, and resorts. Ferries are boosting business activity and logistics. Ferries also strengthen commerce by transporting both people and goods. The Roro Nautical Highways enabled business to organize logistics, reducing dependence on regional warehouses as goods can now be delivered directly with efficiency. We have witnessed distribution center for fast-moving consumer goods and food products reduced nationwide because of efficiency of Roro service. During the pandemic, roll-on, roll-off vessels serve as the main mode of transport of agricultural products, including medical supplies, and supported the e-commerce industry. Additionally, modern port facilities match this growth. Commercial container terminals and Roro capabilities, private passengers, Roro ports facilitate seamless trade and shipping activities across the nation. Ferries are advancing inter-island connectivity. Geography no longer hinders unity. Ferries bridge the islands, enabling cultural exchange, economic collaboration, and social cohesion. Communities once isolated are now linked by daily routes shared by market and opportunities for advancement. Although we are divided by several islands and speak more than 100 dialects, the ferries offered means to have better understanding of our fellow men and experience firsthand the different customs and traditions the island have to offer. Challenges remain. Safety concerns persist due to aging fleet, under maintenance, and the Philippines' vulnerability to typhoon. Infrastructure and port often lags environment impacts from emission and remain problematic. Government policies and regulations needs improvement. To address these issues, in 2021, initiative involving Marina, the World Bank, and international partners launched a study of roadmap to improve safety, energy efficiency, and decarbonization of domestic ferries. Industry players are now adopting modern vessels, greener technologies, and reduce carbon footprint and protect the marine environment. In summary, in 2019, annual domestic traffic, passenger traffic, was 85 million, inbound and outbound. 45 million local tourists, 220,000 metric tons of cargo moved. Shipping will continue to be the backbone of the transportation industry. Domestic ferry service are far more than just modes of transport. They are conduits of economic empowerment, tourism growth, regional integration, and daily life. As the Philippines continue to invest in the modern ship and in infrastructure, sustainable practices and safety ferries will remain vital in steering us towards inclusive growth and national cohesion. Thank you, InterFerry, for accepting us and allowing me to serve as a board member for several years. Thank you for this opportunity of serving. Grazie mille for Grimaldi Group for hosting us in this beautiful city of Sorrento. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me add to Chet's presentation. I am Mary Ann, and I'm the beater half of Chet. No, just a joking. Okay. So, good afternoon, colleagues, friends, and fellow operators. I come before you not just as an executive of a ferry company, but as a daughter of an archipelago of 7,641 islands scattered across the Philippine seas. For us, the sea has never been a barrier. It is and will always be a bridge that binds families, communities, and cultures. The InterFerry community has witnessed the FastCat journey from the very beginning. Remember that, Mike? From New York, Chet presented the onset of our modernization. When they introduced the fleet that got funding, as I was telling to you, Dami, Chet was there, 2010. FastCat, that was the conference in New York. And now we have 20 ships. To hosting you in Manila in 2016. Remember InterFerry Manila 2016? Party people. And we were glad to have that happen because the Philippine ferry sector was placed on the global stage. to presenting to you our innovative training systems in 2019 in London, and to joining you virtually in Santander in 2021, where we were part of a research called Safe Mode, and presented to you the findings focusing on safety and human factors, and to sharing our story in the Ferry Safety Project, as Oliver mentioned earlier, in Tanzania and Lagos, and hopefully next year in Congo. And now, in 2025, I'm honored to share not just the operations, innovations, but something deeper, the impact of FastCat ferries on Filipino culture and identity. And for this, let me thank you, our InterFerry community, for your influence, for your inspiration, and your mentorship. We truly consider you our ferry family. Imagine this. More than 2,000 inhabited islands, 300,000 square kilometers of water, and communities separated by distance and tide. Without ferries, we are fragmented dots on a map. With ferries, we are one Philippines, connected and alive. I remember when Chet and I visited his father in an island in Calbayog, and we took old ferries. I had to hold my pee because I didn't want to use the restroom because it was smelly. And I held it, and right after that trip, I went straight to the emergency room for UTI. Can you believe that? and at that point, we kind of said a prayer. Chet and I whispered a prayer and said, we hope that one day we can make a difference in this industry. And right now, I could just sigh a gratitude prayer that truly our prayer were answered. So, in FastCat, our ferries carry more than people. It carries values. Pakikipagkapwa, seeing ourselves in others. Bayanihan, collective action. Malasakit, deep care. Kapamilya, treating strangers like family. Every time we sail, these values are reflected by our people in every FastCat vessel. There is statistics saying that 76% of Filipinos say family togetherness is their greatest happiness, and why nearly every town celebrate fiestas, because when we connect, we celebrate. We even partnered with the Department of Tourism in cascading the Filipino brand of service excellence. So, Chet has mentioned that the roll-on, roll-off system changed everything in the Philippines. Travel time cut by 35%, transport costs slashed by as much as 60%, and more than 150,000 jobs created. But these are not just statistics. You saw in the video showed by Chet that farmers use us to sell their produce, students get home before nightfall, mothers spending less time traveling because of our faster ferries and more time with their children. But do you know that this connection even has a flavor? Connection even has a flavor. On board, our fellow Filipinos can find pasalubong, like how we give gifts to each other, gifts of love carried across the seas. Banana chips from Mindoro, now enjoyed in Cebu. Iloilo's chewy butterscotch, making journeys sweeter. Bicol's prized pili nuts, crossing seas to delight another island. Every bite has a story. Every gift is a bridge. Connectivity changes lives. Along our routes, inter-island marriages have grown. Families once separated by waters, now joined because a ferry made their meeting possible. Children from these unions grew up speaking different dialects, eating different foods, and carrying blended traditions. This is the true power of maritime connectivity, weaving communities into one fabric of love, culture, and shared identity. In tourism, the story is the same. Domestic expenditures reach record highs, more than 2.67 trillion pesos. But beyond the figures lies something deeper: pride, identity, and joy in discovering each other's islands. Ferries carry more than passengers. They carry dreams, memories, and stories of a nation on the move. As you saw in Chet's video, we are carrying more overlanders, bikers, pilgrims doing religious pilgrimages in different islands, influencers taking our ships. At the heart of our connectivity is not technology, not infrastructure, but our people. FastCat's vision is not only to move cargo or passengers, it is to unite families, to connect cultures, to build bridges of understanding across the seas. You are probably employing Filipino seafarers, and those Filipino seafarers probably trained on a FastCat vessel. Now, we are also helping communities start their maritime high school program and getting them ready to serve in the vessels in the domestic fleet, as also to global fleet, and to start their maritime careers. So, ladies and gentlemen, ferries like ours do more than cross waters. They weave together the very fabric of who we are as a people. That is the gift of connectivity. That is the story of Filipino-ness we bring to the world. So, thank you, InterFerry family. Thank you for being part of the journey. And thank you for the opportunity to serve you as a new board member of InterFerry. Mabuhay.
Thanks, Marianne. You want to have a seat there? I'll give you the microphone. That was a fantastic presentation. I think we now understand why you guys were able to do what you're able to do, so congratulations. What's next for your company? You've accomplished so much between 2010 and 2025. I know you have a vision for the future, but from where you came from to where you are today, are you talking about another exponential increase, or are you talking about incremental growth now?
What's good with InterFerry, which I mentioned earlier to my message for the 50th anniversary, is that we are inspired by operators from members of InterFerry, and somehow we would like to replicate what you have done in your respective countries. One business model is the Grimaldi Group, where we also would like to expand our private ports a much smaller scale, so that we can be viewed as a transportation company providing linkages, port services, and hospitality service to the different islands.
Yeah, so we want to build our 10 more boats, and hopefully they're hybrid. We have started our decarbonization process and digitalization process. And I believe that we're the first doing that in the Philippines as part of our value. We want to be innovative and the first to do that. So we're happy we're doing that.
Thank you. And I think you touched on it a little bit earlier around some advice for our colleagues from LASWA, but they are probably about the same place you were in 2010. So what's your advice to the developing world? I know that you've traveled around with us doing all of the workshops and seminars and conferences, but what is your advice for people that want to get to where you guys got to?
It all starts with a dream, and you already started, and hard work follows with it. So a lot of determination, you will be facing a lot of obstacles, but these obstacles make the journey much, much challenging and better. So never, just keep on pushing, just keep on pushing. It will all come into reality, and if we were able to do it, I'm sure you will be able to do it.
Great. Well, and congratulations, Marianne, for coming on the board of InterFerry. We look forward to your participation. And Chet, thanks for everything you've done for us, and you guys definitely are the way forward, so thanks very much.
Anytime, Marta.
Anytime, Maritime.